The gender pay gap or the raw pay gap is a pretty controversial topic that sparks outrage on a fairly regular basis, mostly by people who don't seem to understand that the supposed gap is only a representation of a flawed analysis. And despite the fact that no credible economist takes it seriously, huge media companies persist on bringing it up as a fact. So in this video I'll debunk the myth of the gender pay gap and show you what the numbers actually say. I normally don't really care about these topics, as politics and government legislations don't interest me one bit. But I came across a few videos that try to convince people that employees earn less solely based on gender. And next thing you know, I have all these videos recommended to me trying to explain why the gender pay gap is real, while they're pretty much debunking their own arguments when trying to explain it. And it was the weirdest, most conflicting little video binging I've been on for a while. So I'm sitting here listening to this absolute dribble, and mind you, these are not posted by some random people, but huge media and news organizations. So I decided to look into it myself and do my own research to see if there is some truth to it. And let me tell you, I'm pretty sure I won't get hired by any of these news organizations based on what I found. So first of all, the notion that you can pay people differently based on gender is not true and hasn't been true for almost 60 years, because it's fucking illegal. The EPA, or the Equality Pay Act of 1963, was created to abolish any wage disparity based on sex, and it prohibits an employer to pay different wages to employees of the opposite sex if the employees perform substantially equal work on jobs requiring equal skill, effort and responsibility, and the work are performed under similar working conditions. So if you're a woman, or a man for that matter, and you find yourself in a situation where you earn less even though you work the same hours and have the same job, take them to court and sue them. But here is where things get weird. Some people are even suggesting that there is an unfairness in pay among people who are self-employed. So I came across some pretty extreme examples that displays the absolute ignorance of what some highly influential people makes out the gender pay gap to be, and it's shared and posted by large media companies. Lily Singh, who has almost 15 million subscribers as of right now, is upset that she didn't make it into the top 10 highest paid YouTubers list, and even more so because of the fact that no woman made the list, claiming she wants equal representation. But let's be clear here, they don't even have a boss, but work for a company where the pay is solely based on performance and views. And she's now concerned because she thinks YouTube treats women unfairly. What the fuck? How does anyone make this a gender issue? YouTube doesn't pay out in bonuses or give creators money to make videos, at least that I'm aware of. The money comes from the ads you see before or in the middle of a video, and YouTube takes 32% of whatever that specific company paid to have their ad, while the creator takes 68%. And of course you can have equal representation on that list, but getting into a top 10 highest earner list is not something that is given but earned. You better be willing to work your balls off to get there. It's a mere representation of the hardest working, most entertaining people that manages to get the most amount of views. I don't understand how people create a debate out of this trying to make it a gender issue. It blows my mind. So a pretty interesting fact about business owners, such as YouTube creators, is that men and women seem to differ a bit in their motivations and values in running a business, according to CBS News. 76% of men's primary motivation for running a business is to make money, and only 29% of women share that primary motivation, as they value shorter work weeks, safety and fulfillment higher. And more power to you if you can manage to run a business while pretty much valuing freedom and happiness higher than just making money, right? It seems like a pretty great life. However, this results in women earning less on average than men that owns a business, and this is of course independent of discrimination since they don't have a boss. And no credible economist takes the gender pay gap seriously, as it's often explained as a single varied analysis where they take only one factor in, which is sex, and then take the average or median in the earnings of men versus women and point out that look, there's a gap of earnings. You might as well say that long-haired people make less money than short-haired people based on that way of making an argument. A 95-page study prepared for the US Department of Labor concluded that the raw wage gap should not be used as the basis to justify corrective action because there may be nothing to correct. And yet the media and influential people keep pushing this as facts. There are around 18 different factors you should take into account when making a credible analysis of the gender pay gap, and one of them is gender. If you factor in the other 17, it does in fact show that the gap does not exist. The reason why women earn less money than men on average seems to be mainly because of two things: choices and personality traits, which becomes evident in Scandinavian countries where equality of opportunity has gone further than anywhere else, and when people are left to make their own free choices, the disparity among men and women increase even more, something Jordan Peterson explains. Men and women are extremely similar in a lot of ways, but are also different in some ways. Women on average tend to be more interested in people, while men are more interested in things. And this seems to be the main reason for why women dominate the healthcare and education industry, while men outnumber women in STEM fields such as engineering and technology. And as Elon Musk once stated, you get paid in direct proportion to the difficulty of problems you solve. And even though being a teacher is an incredibly important job, more people are able to perform that task compared to being a high-level engineer, hence the difference in pay. And there's also a physical difference between men and women, which makes it more suitable for men to take on heavier and often more dangerous jobs, resulting in a higher pay. And these jobs consist of fishers, loggers, aircraft pilots, iron and steel workers, etc. And these are physically demanding jobs with a high risk of injury or fatality. And something that seems to go unnoticed is that men stand for roughly 95% of all work-related deaths. And so with high risk also comes high rewards. And just to be clear, these are all jobs women can get, but the vast majority choose not to. And these are the main reasons for the pay gap, while there are a few more reasons I could list, but I want to keep my videos as concise and short as possible. But I'll say this, I was kind of baffled when researching this video, as mainstream media tries to convince people that women are some kind of victims of systemic discrimination and earn less solely because of their sex, which just isn't true. The difference in average earnings comes down to mostly our own choices and values. So to all the women out there, you are way more powerful than you are led to believe by the media, and choosing freedom and shorter work weeks over more money seems like a pretty enjoyable thing to do. But just know, when you're out there taking time off, enjoying your freedom, I'm gonna work my balls off and inevitably increase that pay gap because I choose to. So that's it. I'll probably won't make any more videos around politics, but I just felt like I had to chip in on this particular topic as it involves a financial aspect. Hope you enjoyed it, and if you agree or disagree, you are more than welcome to share your reasons in the comments below. And I'll also leave the links to the references below if you want to read more about it, and I'll see you in the next one.